In the farm tractor collecting world, you get folks from all kinds of professions. Right now, we're going to talk to a math teacher, a wrestling coach, and a guy who likes his Oliver tractors, Alex Brandenberg. Tell us a little bit about this tractor that's sitting right here.
This 1655 front wheel assist was my father's. He bought it in 1982 at a farm auction near Groover, Iowa, and it had a loader on it, fully mounted one that you couldn't take off, and he used it for hog chores. His farming operation kind of, like in terms of crops, went under in the mid 80s, and he sold his 2255 front assist, but he kept this and 1750 row crop to do his hog and cattle chores. So after he passed away in 96, I was in high school, and I had never actually driven the tractor till I was about 17 years old, and my mother wanted me to kind of clean up her grove on her 10 acres. So this tractor, I always when I had a loader, it was kind of a grove killer. I mean, you could tear up everything pretty good with the loader and the front wheel assist. So then I always had intentions of buying it. So when I ended up purchasing it from her, I found out how rare it was. There's only 101 sold in the US. And a couple people advised me, you probably should just get rid of the loader, get it painted up nice, and just use it for rides and tractor rides and plowing. And so yeah, and that kind of started the classic tractor fever for me. And I've learned a lot about Oliver since, about not only this one, but all lines Oliver, and just recently overhauled. It was a little bit tired. It had 7,300 hours on it. So we put brand new aero pistons and sleeves and put a new clutch and a new hydraulic pump. It's running good now.
You've used this tractor. Your dad used this tractor. I know you probably appreciated the power that it has. Tell us a little bit about the engine.
This has a Waukesha 283 cubic inch engine. And as I said, it comes from the horsepower. It's factory certified. It was 70 horsepower. I'd say before I got it overhauled, I mean, I plowed with it. I'm guessing it was around 60, 65. It was pretty worn out, but yeah, should be about right for this plow now. I plowed with this plow with my 1750, which is about 80 horse, and that's only two-wheel drive, and it does well with it. So I think, yeah, I'm excited for this fall to try it out on a few plow days.
Nice beefy engine, diesel power here, and then the front wheel assist. What was the real appeal, do you think, of the front wheel assist back in the day?
I don't think many people believed in it. Oliver and Minneapolis Moline were kind of the first to come out with it, but I have a good friend, Gary Holst, who says Oliver's, and he always tells me this story. A John Deere guy kind of came up, and he had a 1950T with front wheel assist Oliver, and guy pulled up to him and says, that four-wheel drive really make a difference? And he just asked the guy, I don't know, does a four-wheel drive pickup make a difference? And the guy just drove away. So yeah, it gets a lot of traction. I mean, when I have plowed with it before, I've just kind of messed around with it, like without the four-wheel drive on and with, and the slippage is just, it makes a huge difference.
Now, I know one of the things that collectors are really liking to do these days when they can is to have an implement along with their tractor, and you have one. Tell us a little bit about what you've got behind the tractor right now.
We got a 548 418-inch plow, and I picked this up on I think an online auction 2-3 years ago out of Minnesota, kind of by Owatonna. And then, I used it quite a bit, each fall doing plow days. And then my assistant wrestling coach and I bought a sand blaster and a spray gun. And this was our first project, was redoing this plow. We didn't have a lot of money into it, just sand and paint and primer, and that turned out pretty good. So yeah, I think it's a perfect match for this tractor. And yeah, it was some fun non-wrestling bonding time, I guess, to spend with him.
And when you're driving the 1655, do you think about your dad a little bit? What do you think he'd say about this tractor now?
I think he'd be proud. I can remember a few times having the loader on it and riding with it when he was young, and doing hog chores. And can remember actually one time it being buried almost up to that front axle going into a pit with hog manure. But yeah, he'd be proud. I don't know if he knew how rare it was. He just knew it was a very, very good chore tractor, because the 1655 was the smallest one Oliver made, and in the front wheel assist. So to put a loader on it, it packed a punch and was very, very reliable, where, you know, a lot of the other loader tractors that size are only 2-wheel drive, so you had a lot of slippage.
Well, thanks for sharing the story of your 1655, the plow, and a tractor that belonged to your dad.
Yeah, thank you very much for interviewing and to coming to Forest City and doing the show. We're glad to have you.
All right, Alex Brandenberg, he's here, a Corn Belt Oliver Collector member, showing off his 1655 with the plow, and he's got to get an A in history, even though he's a math teacher, because he's preserving the history of his family's tractor. Hey, thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If you'd like to see more Oliver tractors, be sure to check out these other great stories. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep our Oliver tractor stories rolling.